My favorite stat of the morning is a hat tip to Bespoke. The $12 billion revenue beat, not the revenue beat at Apple is bigger than 12-month trailing revenue for 330 S&P 500 companies. Jim, of course, and Josh did talk to Tim Cook last night, and Tim actually talked about overall demand. Here's what Tim Cook said.
The demand feels very strong right now. Both on the Mac side, you have the combination of M1 and work from home and remote learning. And an iPad, you've got remote learning and work from home as well. And so there's a lot of great things of the strength of the product cycle, in addition to the trends that we're seeing in the marketplace.
So, Jim, I know you were talking with Andrew about Goldman. Rod Hall has had a famous sell on the name for a long time, comes clean today and upgrades, says we were clearly wrong, that their view that the iPhone cycle would disappoint in COVID was clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Does that mark a change in sentiment overall?
Well, do you remember that scene in The Birds, that great Hitchcock movie, where Suzanne Pleshette is killed by the crows at the gymnasium, at the jungle gym for school, the teacher? Well, I think he didn't need a crow. He ate every crow in that picture. He may have eaten every crow in that movie. I mean, this was incredible. He had to throw in the towel. He didn't throw in the towel. He threw in an RH5, the Restoration Hardware 5 robes. I mean, stronger, this was one of those where I think that you realize that he still couldn't completely come around. But the price he was looking for, Carl, I mean, these are people who think this stock was going to go back to the 80s. I mean, hello? I mean, but, look, he's probably, I am going to say he is probably a nice person.
I think there's been a lot of schadenfreude this morning about his upgrade. On the other hand, Jim, I guess, he could have buried this in a 100-page industry overview, and he chose not to do that.
That's true.
And it's Goldman's job to give their clients an array of ideas, and some will get accepted and some will get rejected.
He could have done War and Peace. Instead, he did Gettysburg Address. 7 years ago, I was completely wrong about Apple. I don't mind that one bit. One of the things that I find is incredible is they had to admit the supply chain problem, obviously the semiconductors, but of all the companies other than Qualcomm that you had to worry about semis, this is the one I worry the least about because they do multiple source like Qualcomm, and I know that they had to call it out just because everybody's calling out, but I think they'll be fine. I'm not saying it's by rote, but I also am saying that I am less worried about Apple, let's say, than I am Ford, where I had last night, and Ford is just decimated by this.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.